Hi friends, welcome to the Python programming series. My name is Neelu Verma and I am Ph.D. student in IIT Jodhpur. In this series, you will learn Python language from start to end. There is no prerequisite for this course, and if you not done programming before, that completely fine because this series will we're gonna learn from very basics to higher level. So all right, so in previous lecture we learned about command and variables. Here we'll talk some more about variable, then we'll start data type, number, casting, etc. So in previous lecture we discussed about variable, how to define the variable, and uh, uh, how can we define variable, and what is variable and all these things. So uh, you can see here in previous lecture we have seen, like, you can define the variable name to their some uh, their type, what type of this variable is. All right, so this is just about the recap of previous lecture, and in this cell you can see this, there is two different variable, and this is the syntax you can also use to define the string in this variable. So both these both these symbols are fine. All right, so now what else, also we have seen that the if same variable we are using, then it's completely fine because it is case sensitive. So the case sensitive, because variables are case sensitive, so we have seen that small x and capital X are not equal, they are different variables. And after that we also learned something about the variable names. Variable names must start with letter or underscore character, and variable names cannot start with number. That was our primary thing, that we cannot, here you can say, check that we cannot use um, we cannot use a number before your other letters. Variable name cannot start with number. And one more thing is this: you can take your variable name as long as you want, and whatever name you want it can make, but it is better that it should make some sense. Otherwise it will not, if it is not making any sense, then it is difficult to understand by the other user, by you itself. So this is the common thing that you need to remember. And after that, we also seen about the multiple values, how variable take multiple values. So this is the way that I am defining two variable uh, in a single line, x and y, and we are giving the continuous value of Nilu and Verma, and then when I print this value of Nilu and Verma, then it will print the value as Nilu and Verma together. So this is the first way of defining multi-variable, and one second other way is also you can define as like a equal to b equal to c. That means you are taking, this is another way of doing the is equal to mm, so this is the way that these three variable take the same value. If I am gonna print this all values, print of a comma b comma c, you can print it in different cell also. You can print it one by one also. So when I will print this, it will print Nilu because it is taking the same variable name. Next thing is output variables. The Python print statement is often used to output variable, and to combine both text and variables. Python use plus character. So let us see some example of this. Come to next thing. So this is variable, and the next thing about variable is your global variable and local variable. So what is global variable? And it means there is a two way of defining your variable. You can define your variable inside the function, and you can define your variable outside the function. So the variable which is outside the function is termed as the global variable, and the function with the variable which is defined inside the function is called the local variable. So here you can see that example of global variable. Okay, global and local variable. Local variable. So let me make this as a markdown, nothing more, and add one more tab. Okay, you can make it as not markdown. You can make it as heading. Okay, but this is too big heading, so you can make it small as much as you want. And so this is global and local variable. So let's take an example of global and local variable. If I have a value as a variable as my name, okay, and the my age, let's take a numerical variable, so that will make a sense. So I have a variable name, my age is equals to awesome, equals to what, 12. Right, awesome. So this is 12, and right, and we are defining a function. Function can be defined as my function, and function and function define keyword is used for defining a function. And after that you have to write put this colon, and you want to print something like my age is 12. So you can write my age is, and then you can put this plus variable and 12. So here it is, if you print call this my function name, and call this my function variable, and yes, that was the problem. So so what, so this is called the global variable, and you're using this global variable inside this uh, function. Okay, so what about the local variable? And the thing is, if you create a variable with the same name inside the function, so this variable will be local. If it's like you have created my name is equal to 12, but instead of this you are creating the same thing, my name is equal to, sorry, my age is equals to 15. So now if you run this command, so then it will take the value of 15, because this is local variable. So the thing is, you if you create a variable with the same name inside a function, this variable will be local variable and can only be used inside the function. So the global variable with the same name will remain as it is, global, and with the original value. This variable is as it is. If you are not having this value, then it will take the global values. Otherwise, if you have a own variable that is local variable, it will take the local values. So the next thing is, uh, you can also define it as a global keyword by why, because normally we when we create a variable inside a function, the variable is local, so and can only be used inside that function. Let's say I have okay, so let's say I have this variable name, I'm removing this variable name, and I have this function, and I want to use this function, and I want to call this variable outside the function. Okay, let's call it outside the function. So if I want to call this my is outside the function, then this will give error most probably. Okay, this is not giving error in this case because we already have defined the variable in a previous cell. But the thing is, it will give error if you are writing it as you have defined the local variable, but you you are getting it into the outside the class, so outside the function. So what you need to do, you need to define that variable as global. You can write it as global my is, right? And now if you run this command, then you will get this value, right? So this is a very nice example. You are about this keyword global. If whether it is a local variable, but if you define this by using the global keyword, you will get this variable will work as global variable now. And and okay, so now the next thing is our data types. So we'll cover this data type in next tutorial. The variable is complete.